Is it possible for our attachment to characters to hold games back or to push games in a direction that may not be good for their future? I am Bond, and today I'm going to chat about how I think Commander Shepard of the Mass Effect trilogy is BioWare's character to do whatever they want with, and that players need to realize that their individual headcanons may not apply when it comes to the health of the franchise in the future. For the too long didn't watch, I believe that Commander Shepard is a character completely in control of BioWare, and if they choose a canon ending to Mass Effect 3 to more easily move on, then players should accept that as a necessary move to have a better product in the future. If you want to hear my deeper thoughts and reasoning behind these ideas, please stick around. A fairly common topic of discussion right now in the Mass Effect community is whether or not BioWare will set a canon ending to the trilogy, or if they'll try to incorporate all of the possible endings and other major choices. One side of the discussion seemed to feel that if they can't respect all of the players' potential decisions on the endings and other large choices, then they shouldn't continue the series at all, because without the payoff of your choices, it will feel like it was all for naught. On the other side, which I do consider myself part of, it feels like part of the Mass Effect 3 struggle was that the game had already become overinflated with potential choices and was overwhelmed from a development point of view that led to a less than satisfying ending, or to waving things off entirely. My stance is that the next game being built off a canon ending being chosen gives the franchise a chance to reset and not have to try to continue to deal with the wide variety of choices from the trilogy. One of the big answers I've seen to allowing all of the choices is to put the game so far in the future that the choices don't matter. But I would argue that that would be more disrespectful to the players and their endings of choice than setting a canon ending that doesn't handwave all of the endings at all. It seems there's a large number of players who feel that every single one of their individual Shepards should be respected by BioWare, and that setting a canon ending for the future would be disrespecting the millions of Shepards that people love individually. My argument is that with Shepard being one of the first voice protagonists in a game like Mass Effect, that Shep has been a defined character from the start by BioWare, and while we can change their journey a lot through the trilogy, Shep still ends up in the same place to make one of three choices at the end of the trilogy. We see what happens when BioWare tries to avoid the choices with a game like Andromeda that took us 600 years in the future in a new galaxy and basically allowed them to ignore whatever Shep picked. And while some like the New Start, it also felt like the lack of soul in Andromeda had to do with its complete disassociation with the trilogy that made the series popular in the first place. To wrap this up, I think it would be a bold and courageous move by BioWare to set the series up with a solid foundation for the future by just owning their Shepard character and setting the game world in a defined space for the next game, whether we even play with Shepard in the next game or not. No matter who the protagonist is in the next game, the choices Shepard made will be important in the game, and rather than getting a shallower game that tries to cover everything, I would rather have a game full of depth, even if it means the trilogy has to be pared down into defined canon choices. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be notified of new videos by hitting the bell, and maybe check out some of my other content. Other content, such as my gaming podcast, The EchoCast, which is available on all podcast platforms including iTunes, Spotify, and this very YouTube channel. Also, be sure to check out my stream over at twitch.tv/BondDiesel. I am at BondDiesel on Twitter and almost everywhere else on the internet. That's all I have, so until next time.
Missing someone.